Have you ever felt like people only remember you exist when they need something? Have you ever canceled your own plans, sacrificed your rest, gave up your peace just to help someone who forgot about you the moment you were done? Have you ever wondered why kindness feels like it's breaking you instead of building you? If you felt this, friends, then this story is for you. Because sometimes the hardest lesson life teaches us is that being there for everyone means you're not there for yourself. I'm the Cosmic Sage, and today I'm going to tell you about a man who couldn't say no, a man whose kindness became his prison, a man who helped everyone until he had nothing left for himself, and the painful moment when he realized that giving everything doesn't make you a good person. It makes you invisible. Stay with me. This one's going to hurt before it heals. But before we ride into this tale, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Every week, I bring you stories that'll teach you lessons you won't find anywhere else. And if you've been with me, show love with that like button. Someone in your life needs to hear this. Now let's get into it. The year was 1888, and the town of Greenridge sat in the Wyoming Territory, surrounded by rolling grasslands and mountains in the distance. It was a small town, the kind where everyone knew everyone, where neighbors helped neighbors, where community mattered. And living right in the heart of that town was a man named Isaac Hayes. Isaac was 35 years old, a blacksmith by trade, strong hands, kind heart, always willing to help. If someone's wagon wheel broke, they called for Isaac. If someone needed help building a fence, they knocked on Isaac's door. If a widow needed firewood chopped, Isaac showed up before she even finished asking. He never said no. Never. People praise him for it. Isaac Hayes is the best man in Greenridge. They'd say, salt of the earth, always there when you need him. And Isaac believed that's what made him good, that helping others, no matter what, was his purpose. But slowly, without him realizing it, Isaac's life stopped belonging to him. His own forge needed repairs. The roof of his shop was leaking. His living quarters were falling apart. His tools were wearing out. But instead of fixing his own problems, he was out in town fixing everyone else's. Every night, Isaac came home exhausted, covered in dirt and sweat from other people's work. His younger sister, Mary, who lived with him and kept house, would look at him with worried eyes. Isaac, you help everyone in this town, but when was the last time someone helped you? Isaac would smile that tired smile and say, it's all right, Mary. Someday people will remember all I've done. Someday they'll be there when I need them. But that day never came. What would you do, friends, if you gave and gave and gave, but when you looked around you were still alone? One evening in late autumn, dark clouds rolled in fast, the kind that meant a serious storm. Everyone in Greenridge rushed to secure their belongings. Livestock needed to be moved to shelter. Tools needed to be brought inside. Windows needed to be shuttered. Isaac ran out of his shop, but not to protect his own things. He ran straight to help his friend Thomas, whose horses were still out in the pasture and whose barn doors were stuck. They worked fast, got the horses inside, fixed the barn doors, secured everything. But Isaac's own forge? His tools were still outside. His supply of iron was uncovered. His shop door was open, banging in the wind. And then the storm hit. Rain poured like the sky had opened up. Wind tore through the town. Thunder shook the earth. By the time Isaac got back to his shop, everything was soaked. His iron was rusting. His tools were scattered. Water was pouring through his leaking roof, flooding his workspace. He stood there in the doorway, rain dripping from his hair, staring at the destruction of his own livelihood. Mary appeared beside him with a blanket. She wrapped it around his shoulders and said quietly, Isaac, you saved Thomas's horses, but who saved yours? Isaac didn't answer, but inside him, something finally cracked. The next morning, Isaac walked to the edge of town to see Old Man Graves, Silas Graves was a retired rancher who'd lived through more winters than most. Wise, quiet, the kind of man who saw things others missed. Isaac sat down on the porch beside him and said, "Mr. Graves, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I help everyone. I'm kind to everyone. But I feel empty, like kindness is breaking me instead of building me. Why?" Silas looked out at the horizon for a long moment. Then he pointed to the creek that ran past his property. "You see that creek, Isaac?" "Yes, sir." "That creek gives water to everything, to the cattle, to the crops, to the wildlife, to the town well. It gives and gives and gives. But you know what happens when the creek gives too much?" Isaac thought, "It dries up?" "Exactly. And when it dries up, what happens to all those things that depended on it?" "They die." Silas nodded. "Kindness without boundaries, Isaac, becomes self-destruction. You're kind, that's true, but you have no limits. You run everywhere for everyone, but nowhere for yourself." He turned to look Isaac in the eyes. "You think saying no makes you selfish. But sometimes, son, saying no is the most honest thing you can do. Because when you say yes to everything, you're saying no to yourself. And eventually, you'll have nothing left to give anyway." Isaac felt those words hit deep. Silas continued, "For the next 7 days, I want you to try something. When someone asks for help, pause. Don't answer immediately. Ask yourself, will helping them harm me? Will I lose time, energy, or peace I need for myself? If the answer is yes, then say not today. Just try it, Isaac. See what happens." The next day felt different. Around noon, Thomas came rushing to Isaac's shop. "Isaac, I need you to help me move some lumber. Heavy stuff. Need your back." Isaac looked at his forge, at the repairs he needed to do, at the roof that was still leaking, at his own work that had been waiting for months. His heart wanted to say yes. That's what he always did. But he remembered Silas's words. He took a breath and said, "Thomas, I'm sorry. Today I need to fix my own shop. I can help you another time, but not today." Thomas stared at him like he'd spoken a foreign language. "You're saying no? You never say no." "I know, but today I have to." Thomas left, clearly annoyed, and Isaac felt guilt wash over him, but he stayed. And for the first time in years, he spent the day fixing his own roof, organizing his own forge, repairing his own tools. By evening, his shop looked better than it had in months. And instead of feeling exhausted, he felt something he'd almost forgotten: pride in taking care of his own life. The next day, 2 neighbors came by for small favors: help moving a heavy box, help fixing a gate. Isaac politely said no, explained he was busy with his own work. They left disappointed, but Isaac stayed focused. That evening, instead of collapsing in exhaustion, he felt light, peaceful, a quiet calm he hadn't felt in years. On the 4th day, another storm rolled through, smaller this time, but Isaac's roof started leaking again in a spot he hadn't fixed yet. He looked outside, waiting, wondering if anyone would come to help him like he'd always helped them. No one came, not a single person. He could have been angry, could have felt betrayed, but instead, he felt something unexpected: strength. He grabbed his tools and fixed it himself. Took time, took patience, but when he finished, he sat under his repaired roof and whispered, "So this is what it feels like to depend on myself." Days turned into weeks. Isaac stopped running every time someone called his name. He stopped sacrificing his sleep and peace for people who never reciprocated. He started waking up early to work on his own projects. He cleaned his living quarters. He invested time in himself. And something unexpected happened. People started respecting him more. Thomas began solving his own problems instead of relying on Isaac. Neighbors stopped treating him like a tool they could borrow anytime. The town was still friendly. But Isaac was no longer the man everyone used. He was the man who valued himself. His shop looked better. His work improved. His face looked less tired. And for the first time in years, he smiled without exhaustion behind it. One afternoon, Silas came by the shop, looked around the organized workspace, the repaired roof, the peaceful look on Isaac's face. "So, Isaac," Silas said with a slight smile, "did the world fall apart when you started saying no?" Isaac smiled back. "No, sir. Actually, my world finally started coming together." Silas nodded. "When you stop saying yes to everyone, you finally say yes to yourself. That's when life changes." Now, friends, listen to me carefully, because this lesson matters more than you know. Are you like Isaac? Do you give too much? Do you say yes even when it hurts? Do you sacrifice your own peace, your own time, your own needs for people who wouldn't do the same for you? Then hear me on this. No does not make you selfish. It makes you strong. Let me give you some real examples, because I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but Cosmic Sage, my situation is different. Maybe you're the person at work who always covers the extra shifts. Everyone knows they can call you because you never say no. But when you need someone to cover for you, suddenly everyone's busy. Maybe you're the friend who always responds to texts immediately, who always makes time to listen to everyone's problems. But when you're struggling, when you need someone to listen to you, your messages sit on read. Maybe you're the family member everyone calls when they need money. Your cousin needs rent money. Your sibling needs help with bills. Your parents need this, need that, and you give. But when you needed help last year, where were they? Maybe you're the parent who sacrifices everything for your kids' wants, not just their needs. Every toy, every activity, every request gets a yes. But you haven't bought yourself new clothes in 3 years. You eat last. You sleep last. You come last. Maybe you're in a relationship where you're always the one adjusting, always the one apologizing, always the one changing plans, always the one giving in. And they've learned that if they just push a little, you'll break. Sound familiar? Here's the truth Isaac learned, and you need to learn it too. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. You are not being kind to yourself. And eventually, you'll have nothing left to give anyone. The creek that gives too much dries up. And when it dries up, everyone suffers, including you. Saying no doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you understand that your time, your energy, your peace, and your life have value. And when you start protecting those things, something magical happens. People respect you more. The ones who get angry when you set boundaries, they were never there for you anyway. They were there for what you could give them. But the real ones, the people who actually care about you, they'll understand. They'll respect it. They'll adjust. And you'll finally have the energy to show up for the people and things that actually matter. Isaac spent years believing that being available for everyone made him good, but it just made him exhausted and invisible. When he started saying no, when he started taking care of himself first, his life didn't fall apart. It finally came together. What would you do, friends? Keep saying yes until you have nothing left? Or start saying no, so you have something to give to what actually matters? This week, I want you to try what Silas told Isaac. For the next 7 days, when someone asks something of you, pause. Don't answer immediately. Ask yourself 3 questions. 1, will saying yes to this harm me? Will it cost me time, energy, or peace I need for myself? 2, is this person someone who would do the same for me? Or am I just convenient? 3, am I saying yes because I want to or because I'm afraid of what they'll think if I say no? If the answer to question 1 is yes, and the answers to questions 2 and 3 aren't good, then practice saying, not today. I need to take care of my own things first. It will feel uncomfortable. You might feel guilty. People might be surprised or even upset. Good. That guilt means you're breaking a pattern that's been hurting you. That surprise means people are learning you have boundaries. That discomfort means you're growing. And after 7 days, look at your life. Look at how much more energy you have, how much more peace you feel, how much better you're able to take care of yourself. You'll realize what Isaac realized. The people who matter will still be there, and the ones who aren't, they were never really there in the first place. Before you go, I need something from you. If this story spoke to you, if you recognize yourself in Isaac, share it with someone else who needs to hear it. Someone who gives too much. Someone who's forgotten how to say no. Drop a comment below. Tell me, what's one thing you're going to say no to this week? What boundary are you finally going to set? Let's build a community of people who understand that self-respect isn't selfish. It's survival. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right now. Every week, the Cosmic Sage brings you the lessons you need to hear, even when they're hard. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who always says yes when they should say no. This is the Cosmic Sage, reminding you that no is not a bad word. It's a boundary. It's self-respect. It's choosing peace over pressure. Your time, your energy, and your life are precious. Friends, protect them, because the world will respect you only when you start respecting yourself. Isaac learned that lesson the hard way. Don't wait for a storm to destroy everything before you learn it too. Until next time, say yes to yourself. Say no when you need to. And watch how your life finally comes together. The creek that protects itself can give forever. The creek that gives everything dries up. Which one will you be?